What's going on? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Ericson Presents Mixing Tutorials. Before we get started, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button. Hopefully you are learning as we move along this playlist. So let's get right to it. So today we are going to talk about adding color. So in the last video, we talked about being organized. And then once you become organized, then you can start adding color. Now, this is where I like to add my color. So the folders that we made, or the folders that you make when you're organizing, are the folders where I put my, what am I trying to say? Basically, for the bus that you create for each section. So we have the rhythm section, bass section, vocal section, and instrument section. If you don't know about why I did this, then go back to the video that was before this one on being organized. So in each one of those sections, that's where I start adding my color plugins, and I mix through my color plugins. So I add those on fairly early in the process. Let's see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of these color plugins, and so you guys can see what it is that I'm doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Mind you, I don't want you to ever copy any of my settings. So we're going to teach you techniques so that you can apply whatever you feel is needed for your song. So yeah. All right. So let's play the drums. So this is without anything on it. So let's add a color plugin. So this one is from Fab Filter, the Saturn. Back that up a little bit. So anyways, all right. So when I say color, I mean saturation. So there's a difference between distortion and saturation. Distortion, you're going to hear. Saturation, you're more likely to feel. It's more like a vibe. It's more like it's analog. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe it. So let's manipulate this around and see what we got. Heavy saturation. So I mean, you can go through presets. You can start tweaking things until you actually like, what it is that they're doing. What you could possibly do is just look at what the presets are doing. Like, what is it changing? These are our amps. So let's stick with the saturation, or you can go to the tubes. Let's see what the tubes are doing. In this process, you really don't want it to be super noticeable. You just want it to kind of just add a little flavor, add a little weight, Let's try another saturation tool. Yeah, that's definitely adding some weight. What about this? What is this doing? I don't think this was. Oh, maybe it was. Let's start with it off. All right, let's try this one. Let's see. Drums. actually better with it off. But it's all about what you're going for. Like, there's no right or wrong answer to any of this. The Studer is what I always use. I like the Studer. So, the point of what I am trying to show you here is any saturating plugin that you have will do the job. So you don't necessarily have to worry about going out to buy the Studer, because I have the Studer. Any saturation plugin, as you can see, has added weight in some form or fashion to these drums. Hold on, let me try one more. I don't use this a lot. Mix rack, the virtual mix rack, that's what it's called. Couldn't remember, because ever since I started using UAD plugins, I kind of haven't been using any of my Slate Digital stuff, but the Slate Digital stuff is still good. I mean, all right, let's see. And then what was their tape? Is it under? No, is it probably under master? No, it's not. Harmonics. Yeah. No, it's not under. Actually, you could use. Let's see. You got bus compression. Dynamics. Am I losing my mind? Maybe it's not in the rack. You know what? It's not in the rack. I'm using my mind. Yeah, I haven't used this. I haven't used this in a while, but that's okay. We're gonna find it. Here it is. Virtual tape machine. That's what I was looking for. All right, cool. So I mean, let's go through a little more, just so you can get the idea. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I can do this with multiple different plugins, and it's going to be the same thing. I don't think they have any presets. Okay, cool. That's fine. They don't have to have any. We can still make it work. So, without any presets, we're going to start turning knobs. So you can literally turn knobs. So obviously 30 sounds better than 15 to me. Like, this is how you figure out how to work a plugin. So there's that. Let's see what else was in here. Oh, let me turn it off because it's going to go through that. So yeah, I don't want you to ever look at any of my tutorials anymore and think, oh, well, he did it like this, so let me do that setting. I don't want you to do that. I want you to understand why I do what I do, and then apply it as much or as little as you would like. Simple as that. These are emulating consoles. These are a little different, but it's a little subtle. So yeah, these are bus compressors and stuff, which kind of can do the same thing. The Revival, I like the Revival because it adds a different kind of weight. Hitting the mic, my bad. Which is pretty much doing the same thing as those other things. So yeah, this is the stage where I'll add color plugins to the bass, the drums. to the vocals and to the instrument. So when I add that here, which I go with the Studer, then I also add the coloring on my output. Some DAWs you have to create an output. I'm pretty sure if you're mixing, you know how to do that. I believe in Pro Tools you have to create a channel to do that. Yeah. But anyways, this is where I would add that as well. I don't think I can grab both of these at the same time. No, I can't. Okay. I can bypass everything right here. Yep. All right, so we're gonna bypass everything. So we're bypassing the saturation on the drums, and we're gonna bypass the saturation on the output, so you can hear what it sounds like with nothing. There you have it. So the reason why I do this is you can hear the difference of how much more chunkier it sounds. So when I make my decisions on mixing, I'm mixing through these plugins. So remember, I'm mixing through these plugins. So I want this on there. So I might come to the realizations that I don't have to do as much as if I would have had to do without these coloring plugins. So this is just why I do it. So this is a good technique to start doing once you organize your tracks. That way you can kind of, get an alley-oop going towards, the end sound. So anyhow, hopefully you understood the concept. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I'll try to address them. But hopefully I was able to answer all of those questions here. Like I said, use any kind of saturating plugin will do the trick. There's no one that I would say use over the other. If it works for your song, it works for your song. Marry it, love it, and get used to it. Anyhow, I will catch you guys in the next one. Hit that subscribe button, bell notification button, and all that. All right, peace.